What is going on, guys? Welcome back. We got our second Q&A with the game developers of Gotham Knights that took place October 12th, 2022 over on the Discord. Now, if you're unable to catch that Q&A over on Discord, well, I got you covered because we're going to go through it. I'm going to go read all the questions. I'm going to give the developer responses and chime in a few times just to give you my opinion on each of the things that are covered. Now, the four developers that were there today answering the community's questions, we got Anne LeMay, narrative director. We got Patrick Valencourt, the mission level design director. Jay Evans, character art director. And Wilson Mui, cinematic director. Let me know in the comments about all the things that we covered today or all the things that they covered and answered. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you did enjoy. So let's get started with the very first question. Will the story be casual friendly for anyone who doesn't know anything about the Bat family and the Court of Owls while still paying homage and providing fan service for those in the know? Anne responds with, we wanted to make sure that the game would deliver an engaging and entertaining experience for whatever level of previous awareness about the Batman and that player brought to them. So if you're basically totally new to the Batman or vaguely heard about him because of general pop culture, you can dive in and learn about the characters and the world as you play, with a database available with extra information if you want it, no problem. But if you're a huge Batman fan, then you'll definitely get the deeper lore that's present throughout the game, and you'll have many opportunities to discover a lot of Easter eggs placed throughout the world and story for you to find. I'm actually really excited about these Easter eggs. Next question, do we have to play the game 4 times as each character to get the full story? And again responds that you can play the game fully as one character or alternate between each as you wish during a single playthrough, and you'll still get the full main story. However, each character has a story arc with multiple cinematics that is unique to them. Each character has unique lines and interactions on comms, etc. that are unique. So while you can play the game once if you choose to do a playthrough as a single character, you can definitely replay the game to see variations between each as well as experience several unique character moments and cinematics. That's kind of cool. I'm excited. I'm going to be kind of scared to switch in between each of the characters though, because I don't want to miss any of that. Next question, how many villain stories will we have? Is it just going to be Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, and Clayface, or are we potentially going to see more? Wilson jumps in on this one. Yep, our trio of Rogues Gallery all have some unfinished business with our heroes, but don't forget we have the Court of Owls as our main threat in the game, with all of them running amok in Gotham. The Batman family is going to have their hands full. We've put a huge effort in making these villains have their own epic character arcs, and they are pretty content heavy. So we are excited to show you our spin on these iconic villains in Gotham City without Batman ... Now, did he actually say that those were the only 3 villain stories? I don't think he actually did. He just said that those iconic villains in Gotham City without Batman. So maybe there's some other villains with Batman in a way. I don't know. This isn't very clear, but it's still exciting. Next question, will the Knights' relationship with each other develop throughout the story? Anne's response, a found family is one of our narrative pillars, and right from the start, our intention with the story was to really showcase how the relationships of the Knights evolve throughout the entire game in a very clear way. The Knights start from one point, having just suffered a loss. They're in mourning. They haven't all worked out together recently. There's distance, there's some conflict, but throughout the course of the game, they sort themselves out and really start to become closer. Aside from emotional dialogue and voice performance, body language is also a huge part on how this is showcased, and the aspect of it squarely reliant on the work my colleagues and partner in crime Wilson did with the cinematics and his collaboration with our actors. Now, Wilson jumped in on this one as well. As Anne mentioned, the evolution of the Knights and their relationships together with Alfred are a major focus in our game. The Belfry cinematics, you will see this dramatically shift both on a high level as they evolve to become the next Knight, and on a micro level with subtle nuances in a way they interact with each other, since they are living with each other under one roof. We've got some fantastic and emotionally charged character arc cinematics that show the growing pains of how they go from a fractured group into a newfound family learning to live together. For example, when they first arrive at the Belfry, you will see them get in each other's spaces with tense body language and emotions running high. As you progress throughout the game, you will gradually see in subsequent scenes changes in the body language, team dynamic, overall mood as they learn to rely and cope with each other, ever so subtle. You might not notice it at first run, but trust me, we spent a lot of effort to make sure it is there. Character development in any game is always going to be important, so it's really nice that they put this much effort into it with each of the characters and how different they are. Next question, in your opinion, would it better be to play through as one character or switch up during a single playthrough? Like, is it best to just go back and experience each character in a different playthrough, or is it okay to try to play them all in one go? Jay jumps in, it's really up to your preference. For me, I have no problem switching it up through a single playthrough. Sometimes I just pick a character depending on my mood. Sometimes it's Red Hood day, sometimes a Batgirl day. I find the way the game is split up into nights makes it easy to justify switching characters. Now for me, this is going to be really tough. I mean, all of this unique dialogue that each of these characters are going to have, and each character development that goes through these unique cinematics and stuff, if I'm really into playing as one character, it's going to be hard to switch because I'm not going to want to miss any of those cinematics. But I mean, we'll just see when the game comes. Next question, is there unique lines in missions depending on who you pick? Like Richard and Jason having a bit of chit chat, or do all of them have the same lines no matter what? Anne replies, each mission was written with unique dialogue for each night, from the lines in the cinematics to the combat lines, general lines and comms conversations they have in the missions. They are each of them different people with different thoughts, feelings, and perceptions of what is happening through the game. And one of the ways we had to showcase that distinction was with the dialogue. Sometimes even the way they say no varies from character to character, and the writing team really embraced that in every aspect. That's awesome. Next question, will there be any missions in where it forces a certain night? Patrick responds, we will never force you to play a certain night in any scenario. You are free to play everything in the game with the character of your choice. You can play the entire game with a single character, or you can change your character at any point inside the Belfry if you feel like it. That's awesome. Next question, will Jason Todd's scar disappear after he accepts what's happened to him and he accepts himself? And jumps in, terrible things that happen to us are kind of like scars. They feel terrible and painful, but can fade with time. But in truth, they never truly entirely disappear. They shape us in the conquering of them. We learn how to adapt and how to live with them. All that being said, no, it won't disappear. Next question, will Alfred be playable? Anne responds, I'm going to answer this very seriously, y'all. Sadly, no. We did consider options for this very early in production, but narratively and the scope wise, this didn't work out for us. That said, my official reason for the no, however, is as follows. We had to not let Alfred be playable for fear his sheer badass awesomeness made everyone else pale in comparison. Yo, that's a good response. Next question, how will the cutscenes play out for co-op mode? Will it show the character of whoever the host of the session is, or are the users gonna see their own individual cutscene depending on who they're playing as? And Wilson responds with a great question. That is definitely a great question. And then Anne responds, type faster, Wilson, go, go. Then Wilson jumps back in. We made the technical choice early on that the host version of the cinematic would be the one to play, since the host was the one driving the story progression. So keep that in mind. Host is the one that's going to see the story. What that means is playing through your buddy in co-op, you will see their version of the cinematic once they trigger it. With that being said, though, we do have your co-op buddy appear at the end of the cinematic to help smooth out that transition back to the game and stop stressing me out. Next question, is friendly fire possible in co-op? And then Patrick jumps in, technically there is no friendly fire. However, watch out for explosive barrels. Your co-op partner might just want to see what happens when it goes off with you right next to it. That's gonna be cool. Next question, while playing co-op with a friend, say said friend is across the map and I need to do a story mission. Can I do the story story mission and encounter cutscenes while said friend is still exploring across the map. Wilson responds, in the open world, your friend can be on the opposite side of Gotham City fighting crime and is untethered. What does that mean? When it comes to entering a dungeon or triggering a story cinematic in the open world, once you decide to trigger that cinematic, your friend will be teleported to you after a short countdown to make the trek back easier. I'll give you an example that you might have seen in some of the press coverage. In the Harley Quinn mission, you have an objective to go to the Blackgate prison. Both you and your friend can be fighting crime all over Gotham City, but once you decide to enter Blackgate, your friend, player 2, will be brought along for the ride since it's a story mission. So obvious point being, coordinate with your friend and make sure both of y'all are ready. Next question, who will the devs be maining? Patrick up first. I will personally be going Red Hood all the way, but I'll switch to any of the other knights while playing co-op to be sure to have that synergy. And then Wilson jumps in, it depends on my day, honestly. I love the uniqueness of them all, but if I really need to choose, it would be Robin. He is the youngest, quirkiest, and less experienced of the group with the most to prove. The way he moves and the way he fights with his bow staff in gameplay and being a stealth player puts him above just a bit for me. And then Anne responds, my preferred playstyle is stealth, so my first playthrough will be with Robin. But I love the work our actors did, so really I plan to do all 4 full playthroughs so I can fully appreciate the work that everybody put into the characters in every aspect. Voice, performance in the gameplay to animations, etc. And then finally, Jay, I'll play Red Hood, Night Ops suit style with a custom colorway. It's good look. Now, personally for me, I'm probably gonna go with Nightwing or a Robin. I haven't decided yet, but we'll just have to see too. Next question, is there a photo mode? And then Patrick responds that yes, there is, and you'll be in a treat with all the options and filters we've included for you to play around with. We cannot wait to see what you guys do with it. Thank you, Jerome. No doubt, I can't wait to use this. Next question, how many skins does the Bat Cycle have? And then Jay responds, right now we have 3 different Bat Cycle skins and each one has a variety of colorways that can be applied. And then next question, for the skins that change with the character appearance, does it also change for the cutscenes? For example, if we use the Jim Lee costume, will it have the longer hair in the cutscenes or will it have the same as the base model? And then Wilson responds, one of our key goals early on was to keep you immersed in your character throughout the game progression, and that applies to all the cinematics as well. The cinematic does keep the suit you have on in-game before you trigger the scene so you can see it in action during the cinematic. I can tell you each character's suit brings a totally different vibe to the scene. Better yet, I urge you to check out how different the suits look in each of the scenes yourselves, but I have to warn you, we have 4 characters with 16 suits each. So I'll let you do the math on that one. Of course, that's not including all of the customization and colorways. Wow, that's gonna be a lot. Next question, what did they mean about the weirder colorways? Will they be animated? Jay jumps in, our colorways are roughly grouped into familiar brand colorways. Some of them themed colorways like a blacked out version, for example, and then we have a few wilder ones. A favorite I keep seeing pop up in our playtest is our bubblegum colorway. These are meant just to be fun. I'm excited to see all the different ones too. Next question, will the customization of each skin be accessible immediately when you get the skin, or will it be that you have to unlock the choice to change that part of the skin? Jay responds, when you unlock a suit style, you also unlock the customization option for that suit style. Colorways are unlocked separately. That's interesting. I wonder how you're gonna unlock them separately. Is it gonna be some sort of in-game currency or just something that you play through experience, or you have to do certain tasks to unlock them? That'll be interesting to see. Next question, are all the outfits original or will there be some from pre-existing shows, games, or movies? Jay jumps in, tough to say. None are 100% direct one-to-one of the comic movie suit. We have a few that are heavily influenced by their look, and even more original ones, we have often some comic influence in them. When starting with more comic influence, there are layers of detail that are added to our models to keep them realistic and grounded in our world. We are often designing them right down to the very small buckle and zipper, the texture of their fabric, and the seams in their clothes. Next question, 80s disco style Nightwing suit with exposed chest and collar, and oh, yo, that would be sick. And then Jay responds, oh, I wish. I do remember seeing a version in some initial sketches inspired by that suit years ago. So bummer, we're not gonna get it. Next question, are the transmogs unlocked in the game more like the Jim Lee from the Visionary pack, like the suits, or are they more like custom colored versions of the suit styles? Jay jumps in again, transmogs are a full head to toe look. As a result, transmogs are not customizable like a suit style. They are presented a look as it is designed and allows us to do a lot of custom things on the model and textures. Next question, will you release a soundtrack when the game releases? Wilson says, absolutely. We'll be dropping a soundtrack digitally on October 21st to coincide with the release of our game. We have some phenomenal music in the scores from our super talented composers. The Flight of Joseph Day Man, both are no strangers to AAA's games, as well as some surprises. There is something for everyone. Grandioso set pieces, emotional dramatic scores, and epic Hollywood action. We can't wait until you to hear it. Next question, what would you say you guys are most proud of about Gotham Knights? So Ian will be the first to go on this one, you know, gotta give Wilson some time. There is so much in this game made by every discipline in our project to be proud of. I am so proud of the work the narrative team did, writing, narrative, and voice design. I'm so excited and happy about the phenomenal work our actors did, about how animation and the audio and cinematics brought our worlds to life, about how every department from the Q&A to the production to our DC peeps to the art to the missions to the programming to marketing to everyone else, how everyone works so hard. I could point at 1,000 things in the game that I love and find the ones to point out every single time I play or see other plays, but really it just comes down to the people. Adore my peeps in this chat. Y'all rock and were phenomenal to work with. So much admiration. She continues, so yeah, most of all, I'm just really proud of the team and the people who brought this game to life every step of the way. There'd be no Gotham Knights without them. I tease Wilson a lot, y'all, but he was the best cinematic partner in crime ever. And then Wilson jumps in on my side, addressing the human emotion toll of the Knights as they deal with Bruce's death. Seeing how they learn to cope internally and grow with each other has been my key focus from the beginning. We have some amazing cinematic performances that I'm hoping will bring the same amount of raw emotion and tension that I felt when we shot the performances on stage with the actors. Every conflict, every interaction, every dialogue line, every music score, down to every character tick and facial smirk was crafted and fine-tuned to bring that emotion reaction to you as the player. We wanted you to be there in your hero's shoes to experience what they were experiencing outside their superhero alter egos, and to show that we were just as vulnerable as we are. Believe it or not, this is way harder to realize and achieve. The cinematic storytelling of Gotham Knights is a result of truly collaborative team spirit and amazingly talented team that are working together to bring the magic on screen for you. Whew. That took a while. Hey, both of those absolutely fantastic statements, and I could just tell by everything that I have seen so far and all of these different Q&As that we've had that they have put in so much work, and the game will be amazing. Next question, will Tim be bi in this universe and there will be other forms of representation in the game? And responds, Tim is bi in the comics, therefore Tim is bi in the game. It's not a huge plot point, it's just a part of who he is, and this comes up in the character interactions we have in the Belfry with the huge scope, with the scope of how normal conversations would bring this up. Other NPCs and characters in the game also offer forms of representation in ways which reflect the world we live in. And then the final question, is Batman real? And Wilson responds, of course he is. I saw him walking around Comic-Con in San Diego this past summer while we were doing our Gotham Knights panel. I'm certainly curious how many of you think that Batman is going to be in the game and that Batman is not really dead. I'm certainly excited to see the entire storyline, you know, with all four of the Knights and the Court of Owls and all three of the known villains so far. It's going to be a lot of exciting stuff. They also have released the minimum PC specs. So for those of you that are getting Gotham Knights on PC, well, here are your minimum PC specs. 60 frames per second at 1080p, lowest settings, OS Windows 10, 64-bit. The CPU, Intel Core i5 9600K or Ryzen 5 3600, RAM 8 gigabytes. The GPU, GeForce GTX 1660 Ti or the Radeon RX 590. Now, personally for me, I am going to be playing on the Xbox Series X, and I actually bought an Xbox Series X today just for this game. So in reality, this game, Gotham Knights, has cost me $570 just to play it because my current Xbox is too old and is not supported. But with all that being said, I certainly thank the developers for coming out for another Q&A. That was absolutely fantastic. I love their interaction with all of the fans and the community over on Discord. Really cool that they do that. So thank you, Ann and Patrick and Jay and Wilson. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about everything that we covered today or everything that they've covered and answered. I know I am super excited for this. I cannot wait. 9 days to go. Only 9 days to go. And we're certainly going to be playing a lot of this on the channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, definitely hit that sub button, because when the game launches, yo, we're going to be doing streams and playthroughs and all sorts of stuff. Either way, though, I will see y'all next time. Y'all take it easy, guys. We are out. Peace.